Hello, everybody. Today's video is going to be about the Shatter Me series because I read it all last month and very much enjoyed it. Do I regret not doing a vlog for it? 100%. I will tell you why when we get to the certain book where I wish I would have done the vlog, but I also know if I would have done the vlog, I couldn't have filmed upstairs because my sisters are running around and I don't want them to be in the video. And also because I felt like I wouldn't have enjoyed the series in general that much if I would have done a vlog. Like, I would have been too hyper focused on vlogging every moment I was reading than if I didn't. But I did just get all the rest of the Red Rising books, so I'm probably gonna do a Red Rising vlog. We'll see if it actually happens. But I do plan on filming reactions for certain chapters for that one. But that's not today's video is just solely about Shatter Me. I'm gonna get the books because I don't have them set out yet. But I'll be back. And here it is. Every single one. Oh, there's a spider on one of them. Fuck. Hold on. I'll be right back. Because now it's somewhere in my bed. But, oh, it's already chaos. Yeah. So let's get started. I'm gonna grab my journal quick. So, I started, I think, technically, hold on. I'll pick that up in a minute. I started on May 1st and made sure specifically that I finished on the last day. Also, because through Fable you can track like how many days each month you've read. So I did a full 31 days of reading. What is it called? Just like tracking my reading. Reading streak is what I did. So this is what it ended up looking like if it focuses. There we go. And you can kind of see. But I finished fully with Release Me on May 31st. Anyways, so I'll give you a little, all my pages for this look kind of crazy for the series, but I did 3 books on each page of my journal for this, just to save some space because I don't know if I don't have a lot of room in this journal to separate, and I'm still gonna read the Red Rising series, so I need time. I have a sticky note on this one because I did throw Escape Me in here when it got announced, so I'm just keeping it marked so I remember where it is in September. But let's get going. So, Shatter Me, the very first book, I gave 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed this. I started it May 1st and finished it on May 4th. Yeah, I had a really good time starting this series. I was honestly very much in love with Juliet from the get-go, but also because I knew a decent amount of stuff just over the years, seeing stuff on TikTok. I already knew that Aaron obviously was the main, Aaron Warner is the main love interest. So to my shock, when Adam shows up and Adam is with Juliet, I'm like, okay, I guess I don't really care about Adam, but whatever. But I did have a really good time, and I liked how his character evolved because he did piss me off a little bit sometimes. But the further you get in the series, the better, like, Adam's character becomes in general. Also, I feel like I just got onto the train of hating him because I see how people felt about him on TikTok too after I started reading. So I think the hate for him for me was a little forced because I genuinely don't hate him. Also, like, seeing fan art of him, I'm like, he is definitely my type in looks, but I don't know if I would genuinely date him anyway. But I was so happy to finally pick up this series. The first book was so good. I love all the little bits of Warner we see and everything. Sorry for the glare. I tried to fix the lighting. There's nothing I can really do about it. But yeah, honestly, anytime Aaron was on the page, I was giggling. Not really giggling and kicking my feet. I was just happy he was on the page. Also, anytime Kenji showed up, I know, like, he's technically not in this book until the latter half, but I absolutely had already loved Kenji, and I loved him more once I got to know him. Oh, I love Kenji. I really love this book, even if I rated it a little farther down. But yeah. Then next we move on to Destroy Me. Yeah, Destroy Me, the first novella in this. And when I found out it was an Aaron POV and just everything, like, you learn in this, like, he killed a man for abusing his wife and children because he didn't want to have any other people go through what he had to go through, like, when he was a kid and everything. Like, I love that. That is one of my favorite, like, just moments from the novella when you figure that out. Yeah, just, and that's in chapter 14 specifically. That I think that's what I mean. Other than that, the scene where he sees Juliet for the first time after she's run away in the alley, and then getting that again, but in Juliet's perspective and Unravel Me, I was so excited to see Juliet's perspective. And when I got to that part in Unravel Me, I was so fucking happy. Like, you don't understand. Like, there was just, like, them just staring at each other, him thinking, like, his mind is, I think he thought his mind was playing tricks on him, but it was actually her. Ugh, I love that. Like, he loves her so much. And, like, you just get to learn about him in this. And then, obviously, you have his dad showing up, freaking choking him after his dad freaking choking him after he's been shot and is on fucking pain medication and is, like, almost passed out. Like, I genuinely I hate his dad with every fiber of my being. Every freaking fiber of my being. And then, again, this is also just going to be a case of anytime Warner showed up, which was basically the latter half of the book. But him saying, like, he likes being kidnapped because he actually gets to, like, do nothing and he has to do nothing. I love that so much. I gave I gave the novella overall 3.5 stars. I think specifically Destroy Me, I gave 5 stars, and then Fracture Me, I gave 3. Not, like, in ratings, because I just use the version on rating app on Goodreads and Fable is just the both of them, just the Unite Me version. But, like, separately, I gave Destroy Me 5, Fracture Me 3, and then overall 3.5 for the whole novella. But this one, I gave 4 stars? Yeah, 4 stars. I enjoyed this one a lot. I know people say this one specifically is very slow in the beginning, but that's fine because I love a good info dump, and this beginning of this book was so info dumpy, and I absolutely enjoyed it. I started this one on May 4th, not May 4th. Yeah, no, I started this one on May 4th and finished it May 7th. I absolutely adore this one. It's been a while. It's been almost a whole month since I finished it, so I don't really remember too much. But also the freaking Aaron and Juliet's first kiss, and then how she stops and is like, "Oh wait, Adam, bitch, you've freaking been broken up with Adam basically for like half the book now," and yet Adam doesn't seem to like get that. And I just wanted to throttle Adam the whole entire time, but also I freaking love James. That kid, I would die for that kid. I want to protect him at all costs, which is funny because I don't know. Watch Me and Release Me is like so totally different, but I would die for that kid. I absolutely love James, and just like how like Kenji is also thrown into the mix with James and Adam, and they're all like a little brother group. Ugh, I love that part. I love like Juliet like stepping into her own, and to be honest, I think this one, specifically this one, I don't know what happened, but I didn't even clock on to the ending that Omega Point got blown up until I read the novella, and I was like, oh, and then Juliet gets shot, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, the whole ending of this book to me felt like a fever dream that I didn't even like clock that Omega Point had gotten blown up. Like, I knew Juliet got taken, but Omega Point getting blown up, I like completely lost on me. Even though I'm pretty sure Aaron Warner like states that that's what happened, it didn't even clock to me. But also, the novella Fracture Me just made me like mad at Adam. Like, the way he thought about Juliet sometimes really irked me. Like, I understand, like, he didn't want the life that she wanted to. He didn't want to fight. He didn't want to be a part of any of that. Like, I understand that. But he did piss me off a bit. But I still ended up really liking his character, especially more towards the later books, because he did very much grow. He had just in terms of character growth. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over my thoughts. Yeah, I also wanted to protect James in this. The freaking kid, he friggin' disobeyed his brother's order to stay put, and that's what saved him because he was still in Omega Point. He got out before it blew up, and I'm so glad because if I had to deal with a freaking kid dying, I would have probably, I don't know, I would have still continued the series, but I would have cried my eyes out, just like I did when I read that Rebecca Yarros book last year. Because again, I have sisters around the same age that James is in the beginning of the series, and it would have freaking ruined me. Also, side note, I have a sister that is basically the same age as Aaron Warner, because Aaron Warner would have been around is technically today in this year would have been around 11 or 12 or whatever, and I have a sister around the same age, and it's so crazy to think about. Also, the fact that on TikTok I saw someone mentioned that they would have been like all the characters in this would have been a part of the 6-7 thing, and I absolutely hate the 6-7 thing. I hate it so much. It bothers me so much. Anyways, but yeah, And then just the ending of this. Hold on, I gotta find it. When Juliet just says, "and I'm leaving my gloves behind," I've never felt more hyped ever. Well, no, I probably felt the same amount, but like, just this whole last page. When she says, "I'm ready to do something I'll definitely regret, and this time I don't care. I'm done being nice. I'm done being nervous. I'm not afraid of anything anymore. Mass chaos is my future, and I'm leaving my gloves behind." Queen! I absolutely love Juliet. She is one of my new favorite FMCs. Also, I did make her Erin, Kenji, and Nazira in Tamagotchi Life, and Erin and Julia are married and have a baby, and I'm still struggling to get Kenji and Nazira together. Kenji has a crush on her, but Nazira isn't getting along with him. Yeah, I'm having a very hard time with those two, which I'm not surprised because they're kind of like, they're actually kind of very close to how they are in the books. Anyways, yeah, I only have a couple, like one quote from the book, and then I think two from the novella, and then two, I just put all of it, so many good quotes. Yeah, I should have probably had Goodreads pulled up. I guess you could just go look, but there were so many good quotes in the second book. The one I have from book one is, "I've been screaming for years and no one has ever heard of me." And then from the first novella I have, "Love is a heartless bastard, and I've fallen so hard, I've hit the ground." That's from when he was reading her journal. He found her journal and he's reading it. Invasion of privacy, mind you. But he read her journal. He read her journal and he fucking memorized it too. I love Aaron Warner. I love him. I'm starting to remember things now. Sorry, this is very much like chaotic. Oh my god. Wrong page. Hold on. Next up. Also, if you want to see, I didn't mess up the book order when I was putting these in, but it is fixed. I fixed it after I realized my mistake. But next up, we have Ignite Me, which is 100% my favorite book in the series. The book I can never stop thinking about. I think about this book every hour of the day. Anyways, I rated this one, well, it says 4.5 stars on here, but I did change it to 5 stars after I finished the whole series. I just apparently didn't change it in here. Also, I did read all of this physical, by the way. I didn't use any audio. But I also did make a playlist, which I'll link in the description below if you want to go see it. I have two. I have one for just the main Shatter Me series, and then the second one is for Watch Me and Release Me, and it's just called Shatter Me Gen 2, because that was the best thing I could come up for it. I did just put as one of like my quick opinions of this book is that I just love Aaron Warner. I love Aaron Warner. Anyways, I started this one on March 8th and I finished it on March 11th. Lift your hips for me, love. Don't talk to me. I love Aaron Warner. I love him. I love him. I love him. And then Ignite My Love Ignite, which I want to get tattooed on my body. And then the Aaron Yes Love, which I also want to get tattooed on my body. Also, the fact that Aaron loves fashion, like, I legitimately had to write down a quote because I had said it earlier, I think when I was reading the novella, I just was like, this bitch is a fashionista, and I love that for him. And then Juliet goes, Aaron Warner Anderson, Chief Commander and Regiment of Sector 45. Son of the Supreme Commander of the Reestablishment, has a soft spot for fashion. Sorry. It just says so that was why I was confused. But it's son of the Supreme Commander. I just forgot to put the N at the end of son. But he has a soft spot for fashion, and I love that. He's the #1 fashionista of the whole town, of the whole sector, and I love that for him. I love that for him. Yeah. I just love Aaron Warner, and I love Aaron and Juliet. Like, the pager scene. Yes, Adam did piss me off in this book a lot. When he said, I wish you had just died. I hated that. But I love James for being like, I knew you weren't dead. Like, he's stuck with his girl. He's stuck with Juliet. And I love how James, like, just, like, really, like, loved Juliet from the get-go, and, like, she becomes, like, a mom figure for him, and, like, you see that in the second series. Like, I love how, while we didn't get to see a ton of the relationship in this, because James wasn't around for a lot of most of the series, and him and Juliet didn't have a lot of interactions, but getting to see that through James's perspective in the second series, I really, really love that. I don't know if any of this is making any sense. Sorry, I'm trying to read my notes. I just really love all of it. Anderson getting killed, I was, like, so happy. Yeah. And then, I am Juliet Fierce, and I will lead the nation. I challenge anyone who would stand against me. I love her. Yeah, I legitimately wrote in my notes, Adam, I don't like you, but you can change. And he did change, and I like him better. Also, reading Aaron's mom's death scene, like, him finding out that she's not alive anymore and nobody told him. Depressing. Even more depressing. I read that shit on Mother's Day. On Mother's Day. I got very bad luck. I was like, I did this, like, I technically did it myself unknowingly. But, yeah. I read that shit on Mother's Day. On Mother's Day. Fucking hell. But yes, this one, 5 stars. I love it. My favorite in the whole entire series, for sure. And then, next up, we have Restore Me, which is the one that took the longest for me to get through because of just how much dread I felt that knowing something very bad was gonna happen at the end of this book, and it did, and I was not fucking ready, and I just didn't want to get to the end of it because everything, most of the, at least in, like, the good first half of this book, went really well, and I was just dreading, like, I felt the existential dread that something bad was gonna happen, and I was so freaking terrified to finish this book. Anyways, I started this on March 8th, and then I finished it on March 14th. I think, also, this being double POV, I love. It's just Aaron and Juliet in this one, if I remember right. I don't think Kenji is in the next one. But, yeah. I love this. I'm also kind of happy that there isn't a novella between Ignite Me and Restore Me. I think that makes so much sense to wait until, after book 4 to do another novella. Because if I remember right, the ending of this one picks up the last chapter of this picks up in the novella, but from Kenji's POV. And I really like that. That was really cool. The idiots are highly flammable, love. Let's burn them all. Ugh, I love that quote. That is probably one of my just favorite Aaron Warner quotes out of the whole entire series. I love Juliet and Warner. Just like I said, I don't really have much for this one and remember a lot of it because I just had like so much dread of wanting to read this book because I knew it was gonna end badly and I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. Now, the novella. We have Shadow Me and Reveal Me in this one. I believe they're both Kenji POVs. I love this novella. Also, we get Nazira and the Supreme Commander's children and this other Supreme Commander's children in this one. I like seeing that. I like how they all interacted. And then we get the first snippets of Kenji and Nazira in this. And I really love them. And I know that Miss Mafi said that they are endgame because currently right now in the second spin-off, they are not together. They're broken up. But I just love Kenji. I liked getting inside his head. Obviously, like I said, seeing the end of book 4 and the beginning of this one, but from Kenji's POV was really cool. Also the haircut scene from Restore Me, I love that too. Kenji and Warner just trying to be friends, but like they can't really do it because they're so freaking opposite from each other. I love that. I love Julia just trying to like push them together and it's not working that well. I love this. I think I rated book 4 4.5 stars, and then I rated the novella 3.75. I gave Reveal Me 5 stars and Shatter Me 3 stars as separate novellas, but together 3.75. I know technically that probably doesn't make sense, but this is how I decided to rate them. I don't know why. And then Defy Me. Now, you're gonna be shocked. You're gonna be shocked. I read this fucking book in a day. And this book is why I really regret not doing a freaking, oh my god, what is it called? Reading vlog. Why I really regret that I didn't do a fucking reading vlog because I knew deep down, but I didn't want to like say anything. I said, I think in my Ignite Me review that I was like, I'm pretty sure Anderson is still alive. Like, you can't convince me that motherfucker is still alive. But like, we're in book 4, and then you go to the novella, he is nowhere to be seen. So I'm like, okay, I think he's dead. I think we're fine. I should have stuck to it. And I should have really done a reading vlog because the scream I scrumped when he showed up and freaking shot Aaron's grandpa in the head. Yeah. I should have stuck to it. And that is mostly why I read this book in a day. In a whole day. I started it on March 16th and finished it on March 16th. And that was a Saturday. Like, I seriously sat down here in this room and I read the whole thing all the way through. Yeah. Also, Juliet's sister, which also Castle, like, stressing Warner out during all of book 4 kind of pissed me off a little bit. But also then Castle kind of mostly, unless if it's like through Kenji, you don't really see much of Castle anymore. But yeah, I love this. You get a couple Kenji POVs in this one. Most of it is through Warner and Juliet, and I'm not gonna, like, I don't want to spoil anything, but, like, I love, well, I guess this is spoiler. The way Juliet's name gets crossed out and it's just Ella and then whatever. I love this. I have page numbers written down apparently. Beginning of 105. Oh yeah. The drop, which I already knew because, again, social media, and this has been, like, cycling through my social media for years, but when he says, you don't understand, he tries shaking his head. You think these recent events are everything. You think Aaron fell in love with your friend of several months, a rebel girl named Juliet. You don't know that Aaron has been in love with Ella for the better part of his entire life. They've known each other since childhood. Like, he fell in love with her every time their memories were erased too. Every time, dude. I love Aaron Warner. And then I have another page number written down. With this, I think I just started writing down page numbers so I could remember the parts of the book I really wanted to remember. Like, really. Oh, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Sorry. Trying to fill the silence while I go through this with talking, because I always feel really weird when I do this, and then it's just quiet for a while. Yeah. Also, I'm not really a talker in real life, so. Oh, yeah. No, it's just, like, it's not really, like, spicy per se. Yeah, but it's just Aaron and Juliet being together for the first time they have in a while. Also, Aaron got to celebrate his birthday, though it kind of gets ruined in the beginning of the next one. Yeah, and then all of it, and Ella's last chapter, which is when she does the surprise party for Aaron. I love these two. I love them so much. The proposal, when he proposed to her, and then, but, like, even before, when Kenji was talking to him of how, like, you should do it, and then it's so funny because then Kenji gets mad at him for not doing it the way Kenji told him to, but it's like, I was like, yeah, that doesn't, the way Kenji told him to do it, I was like, that doesn't fit Aaron. Like, he's gonna do it whichever way he wants to do it, and the way he did it, I absolutely love it. Them reuniting on the plane and the, like, crushing hug. I love when there's a reunion scene and the love interests just run into each other and hug. Like, that's my favorite thing. And when they say each other's names, and it's just Yeah, and then I wrote, wait, Anderson is alive? Wait, he's dead. And then, nope, he's still alive because that motherfucker will not die. He won't die. And I really just wish I would have done a reading vlog because, like, how fucking gobsmacked and shocked I was that he was still alive, because I didn't think he was still alive, and I kind of lost hope in that theory, and then he ends up being alive, and it's because of Juliet's parents. Also, freaking Juliet's parents, they fucking suck. Yeah. All the stuff with Juliet's sister. Yeah, all of it's crazy. Like, I enjoyed this one so much. I gave this one 5 stars to my second favorite in the series. And then moving on to Imagine Me, which is book 6 and the last full book in the series. I rated this 4.75. I enjoyed this one too. Also, Aaron catching the freaking machete, that whole machete scene, I forgot about it, and then I got reminded of it through TikTok, and I'm like, yeah, I love that. I've now, like, thought about that scene almost every day, other than when I forgot that it happened, and then the TikTok showed up, and now, after seeing that TikTok, I've thought about it every day, and I wanted to mention it in the video. Yeah. Like, he fucking caught it without looking. That is aura. That is aura. I freaking hate Anderson. And then also, I hate Juliet's dad because the shit he pulled when he told Anderson, like, you could sleep with my daughter. You could have romantic stuff with my daughter. And I was, like, so freaking grossed out because... I'm glad Julia overheard that conversation. Also, just rub OJ because that's what Kenji calls her. But the fact that they freaking did all that, but like Aaron was still able to freaking reach her and like get to her through like the power of love, and he freaking kissed her into remembering. Like, I love that. Also, weirdly, Anderson was protecting Juliet for a little bit there, and I was like really surprised. Like, I'm surprised by that, but also like he's still definitely bad. I think he was just protecting her until they had enough time to finish whatever thing, finish the project they were working on until it was stable enough for them to be able to do it. Because he still definitely did want to do it, but he was protecting Juliet from it being earlier than they wanted it to. Sorry, it's been like almost a full month since I read these books. I started this one on May 18th, and then I finished it May 19th, but I feel like that might be wrong. Because, oh no, okay, no, that's right, but, yeah, anyways, I read this one quick apparently too. I don't really remember that I did that. Also, any Kenji and Nazir scene in this book I really loved, but I'm kind of sad they did also break up after the novella too. And then finally, some quotes from this one though. To the world, she is formidable. To me, she is the world. Fucking Aaron Warner. I love Aaron Warner. The whole reunion memory chapter, just everything he was like. I love. When he said, "Come back home, come back home." Also, all the times that Tahereh snuck the titles of the other books into this one, I love it. Like, I I think I only ended up catching just a couple of them, not all of them, but I know all of them were snuck into it some way or another, and I think that's really cool. I think she's also done it a little bit in the second series as well. Like, that's so fun. And then the novella I rated 4.5. This is Just Believe Me, and it's of the wedding. And also, one of my favorite things in this novella is when Aaron finally acknowledges that he does have friends, and like that made me want to cry so bad, because like he has friends now, and I love that for him because he deserves it. Like, he deserves everything. Yeah, I love everything about this. It ending right on the wedding when she's walking down the aisle and he sees her and she's like doing it so pretty, like the fan art of the wedding. I love it. I love all the fan art for this series too. Yeah. Also, Juliet surprising him with the home is so cute, but they also ended up later. You find out in the second series that they ended up having to move out just because of security issues, which is kind of sad, but yeah. I wanted to cry. Like, this novella was so cute. I started it on May 20th, and then I finished it on May 21st at 12:10ish p.m. I was trying to finish it before midnight, but that didn't happen. But yeah. Yeah. We're gonna take a quick break though. I'm really scared because the spider that was on one of these isn't on the book anymore, honestly, but it is somewhere on my bed, and I don't know how to feel about that. Anyways, on to the newer series. So, I have a little story. So, I bought this one, I think, just from both on Amazon. The kicker is, Barnes & Noble, for some reason, my Barnes & Noble only had Release Me. Didn't have Watch Me at all out of stock. So then I'm like, well, I have to get them from Amazon. So I'm going to get them both from Amazon. Order both of them, really hoping Watch Me would be here before me and my family left to go back to Iowa for my cousin's graduation. That didn't happen, so I ended up having to get it on Kindle. Kicker is I got the second one first. But I got it on Kindle. Second time using Kindle. I tried using it for a Rebecca Yarros when I started in the beginning of January, when we also went back to Iowa for Christmas. I didn't really make it through, but also I was reading on the drive, and I do get motion sickness, so I think that was part of it. So I ended up just waiting until we got to the house to read. I started Watch Me before we left. Did the first 2 chapters, then read only 1 chapter that Saturday because of my cousin's graduation party, and then I finished it, I think, when we got back. So I started this May 22nd and then finished it on May 27th. I really like this. I really am enjoying Rosabella's character in both of these. I love the devotion she has to her sister, even though like she fully can't trust her sister because of the whole mind shit, because the reestablishment is still a thing and they're just hiding out on an island that nobody can get through. Yeah. Oh shit. Hold on. Let me download Kindle on my phone because I forgot I had some quotes. My quotes for it. We'll just come back to it later, but Anyways, yeah, I really enjoyed both of these. I started Release Me on the 27th and then finished it right on the 31st. Yeah. Also, I love getting to see James. I love getting to see all the characters again. Juliet's pregnant, but there's been issues with the pregnancy, so I'm really scared for how the birth is gonna go. I know Aaron is gonna lose his shit and not be okay, and the fact that he still has panic attacks and Kenji still comforts him is like just one of my mini Roman empires that I just love that they're like besties. Also, the whole lemon tree thing, and Aaron took care of Kenji's lemon tree because Kenji never did, and that was sweet. I love that scene in, I think, Release Me. But also getting to see James grown up, it's weird to like fawn over him because like you saw him as a little kid. I felt the same way about Oak from The Stolen Heir and Cruel Prince, because you see him in The Cruel Prince as like this tiny kid, and then he's all of a sudden in The Stolen Heir he's grown up, and like you don't want to have a crush on him because it's kind of weird, but like you also want to, but it feels weird. So I felt the same way about James, but also getting to see James and like how he is like the amalgamation of every main character from Shatter Me. Like he has Kenji's humor, he has parts of Adam, and he has parts of Juliet. He has parts of Warner because Warner raised him. Like he went to live with Warner instead of living with Adam, and just also like you get to see bits of James's trauma from what he went through, the fact that he can't listen to the sound of kids crying because he heard that while growing up in places, and it's just I absolutely adored that. Okay, hold on, I gotta figure out. Hold on, I'll be right back. Figured out the Kindle thing. So, yeah, I loved everything about this. I rated the first one, Watch Me, 4.5 stars, and then the second one, 4.75, and then I'm very, very excited for Escape Me in September. Just watching James and Rosabella's relationship, like, grow, and, like, her starting to show feeling around him, but her being scared by it because, like, it genuinely terrifies her, and, like, her trauma from being, like, watched her entire life by this AI, basically AI, like, computerized thing called Klaus. Yeah. So for some quotes that I saved while doing Watch Me, the very first one, page 29, James goes, "Doll Hands is a serial killer. My pants were getting tight over a serial killer. Kenji is gonna love this." Freaking love that quote. Also, this quote from Warner to James saying, "One day that overzealous optimism is gonna get you into trouble. You think I'm being hard on you. I am. It's because I don't want you to die, you idiot." I smile at the memory. That is the closest he has ever come to saying, "I love you, little brother." I spit out the berry pit, which I didn't mean to highlight that last bit. Ugh. Sorry. But I absolutely love that quote, and like, just I love how Warner shows how he feels with like Lindley, like pieces of advice basically. And then also this one from the beginning of the book on page 61. I stepped towards the animal, staring into the dark eyes and its perfect slant of light. The blue sheen is unmistakable. So I say, bending to better meet its gaze. If you're watching this program right now, I'd encourage you to ask yourself, what would Aaron Warner Anderson do? Because that's the question I'm about to answer, and he taught me everything I know. And then it's funny because the next chapter, the girl talking to Rosabella is like, well, he seems to forget that Aaron's father taught him everything he knows, and who taught Aaron's father the reestablishment. So James doesn't really have any luck there. Oh god. Ah. Yeah, and basically just a lot of quotes. Erin just saying she can murder whoever she wants. Don't stifle her. I'm pretty sure that's about Juliet. Therapy circle. Also, I had to do this one, but it is introduced himself as Ian Sanchez. I don't perform miracles. We've got a lot of work to do. I freaking lost it at the fact that Ian became a therapist. Also, where is Lily? Because Lily hasn't been mentioned like one time in both of these books, or I was surprised she wasn't even mentioned in Watch Me, because that was Ian's girlfriend. So like, what happened to her? Because she hasn't been mentioned entirely once. Also, another one from Kenji or a quote from Kenji, you can't just say, look, I'm invisible, and then suddenly it's true. Well, except for Kenji. So, it's about Kenji, I think, coming from James. Yeah, sorry. And then I have this whole page marked, too. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Yeah, I just have a bunch of quotes and stuff. Yeah. I highlighted, and then for this one, obviously Aaron Warner Anderson, I miss my wife. And then this one from Nazira, falling in love feels a little like dying. Finally, I think it's supposed to be she says, but I don't write that. No one really tells you that. And then I have a couple numbered ones. I'm gonna find them towards the end of the book. Also, I really like how there's scenes from in both of Watch Me and Release Me that kind of mirror scenes from the original series. I think that's so fun, and I love when authors do that. It's just always so cool. So cool. Sorry. I have a lot of flipping to do. I don't know what this quote is, because yeah, just the whole James being obsessed with Rosabella and his jacket is so cute. I love it when he says mine. James, she's not yours. At least not yet. Or maybe she is. I don't know. If she thinks she is. I don't really know. Oh, I'm so excited for book 3. And then I have one on in chapter 29? Chapter 29? Oh, I just think maybe all of chapter 29? I don't know, because I don't have a page number written down, but I have chapter 29. So whatever chapter 29 is. But yeah. Also, I love that we got, I think, 2 or 3 Aaron POVs in this one, and there's even gonna be more in Escape Me. So I'm excited to see that. Also, getting to see just Aaron and Juliet in, like, everyday life was so cute when she was like, I didn't want to wake you up because you seemed so tired. Like, Juliet is just, like, so sweet, and I love her. And she's like, don't be mad, like, don't panic. I love Juliet. Also, totally missed Rosabella's dad at the end of the book. At the end of Watch Me, that being Hugo being her dad, like, totally escaped me. Not pun intended. Or, yeah, whatever. Totally escaped me at the end of Watch Me. Totally escaped me that Hugo was her dad. I didn't also clock onto that until the beginning of this one. Just like whatever book it was in the Shatter Me series. Anyways, yeah. I really, 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 really love the series. It is 100% one of my favorite things I've read all year. It's in my second spot. The Poppy War is still my number 1. But we'll see if that changes after Escape Me releases, but I don't think it will. But expect maybe a reading vlog for Red Rising. And also, if not a reading vlog for Red Rising, then reactions to chapters for Red Rising. I'm going to post on TikTok tomorrow for that, even though currently I am reading Shield of Sparrows. And then I also, back there's Immortal Dark and Eternal Ruin, which I want to audio. I just have to get the audiobooks from Audible for that. I haven't yet. But anyways, I love the Shatter Me series. Please go read it if you haven't. It is so perfect. There's so many quotes in this series that I absolutely love. I love Miss Mafi's writing. She's an exceptional writer. I'm excited. I really want to dive into this Woven Kingdom. I might try and get to that this year, even though I had everything else planned out, so I'm going to have to plan it out again if I want to. Now, she also, I think, she just has 2 romance books that I also want to get to as well, just because I really want to read more of her writing. I, again, absolutely love the series. I love Aaron Warner. He's one of my new favorite MMCs. Kenji is in there as well. I absolutely love Julia and Nazira. They're both also in my FMC list. Yeah, I'm gonna go now, so, because I don't really have much more to talk about. Anyways, I love you. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.